Hey, I'm Sam. Today I'm going to take you through a realistic day scaling the Moonlighters, where we specifically help brands go from 7 figures to 8 figures using Google ads and Facebook ads. I'm really just going to take you behind the scenes, walk you through my day, show you a bunch of client calls, a bunch of meetings that we'd like to normally have, just so you can get a realistic look at actually what we're doing and what we're working on. And really everything that we're doing is hyper focused on results. A lot of the intricacies of the day to day, I don't normally share on my YouTube channel, but I thought it would be helpful for everyone to really see and understand like how complex some of this stuff really can get. Let's hop in. So I always start the day with just a quick scan of the calendar. I really just use every single slot of the calendar to give myself hour by hour, 30 minute by 30 minute appointments with myself for what I need to do for that day. Super common. I don't know who popularized this, but like completely has changed everything I do. So I color code my calendar. So just a quick look at today. We're literally looking at everything that's pink is a task individual. I got to do that in like a 30-minute period. Everything that's blue is a single one-off call. Everything that's dark blue is a recurring call, usually with team. And then today we actually only have 2 calls that are client facing. So kind of a different scenario than most days. A lot of days look really heavy on client facing calls. It's gonna be a cool one, a little different today. Let's just rip it. Right now, what we're really focused on is providing partners for our existing clients. So a lot of existing clients, they come to us with a variety of different needs. Sometimes they have tools that are great. Sometimes they don't have tools. And basically what we need to be able to do for them is essentially share dozens of different, or I should say a handful of different tools that we really, really like. So for example, like Triple Whale for attribution, Sendlane or Klaviyo for email. We're right now focused on locking in partner pricing with every single tool that I think is the best in the market. So we want basically our clients to get 20% off Motion, 30% off Varos. We want them to have a significant discount on Shoplift for CRO. And this is just our like tech partners, right? There's a whole nother round of things beyond this, but this right here is going to be a huge unlock, not only for like our partners that we're currently working with, but literally every future client. And eventually probably a lot of you guys that are just watching these videos where we're going to have a ton of special rates. And I really don't mean like go hunt for the discount on Google. Like no, an actual unique discount for working with us that's only available for working with us. We're literally talking 20, 30, 40% off certain big platforms that we're trying to negotiate for our partners. And thankfully we have an agency who does all of this negotiation for us. So by working with the Moonlighters, our clients are going to have super good rates, which is of course going to create a compounding effect for us, because if a client has access to certain platforms that are more expensive usually, then we now have access to that data, and then we can implement that data in the Facebook ads and the Google ads and the Shopify side of things and really compound the business forward. One thing I like to think about is like conversion rate optimization, CRO. If every client had Shoplift and ran one A/B test a month and improved their conversion rate by 10 or 15% over the course of the year, their entire business would grow significantly faster, because it's not just 10% once, it's 10% the first month. And then we're going to roll over that money into the second month, and then the third month and the fourth month. That scaling factor is really, really hard to come by. We got through basic stuff of the day, digging into some of the more advanced stuff. As you can see, I'm spreadsheeting just quite a bit. At the moment, I'm just walking through a new system for building invoices. As we've grown, as we've acquired dozens of clients, invoices have been extremely timely and we've made mistakes. So this new system is trying to be built on minimizing mistakes as much as possible. And there's absolutely no room for invoicing the wrong amount to any client at any time. So we need to make sure that it's super dialed in. So we're just rebuilding our whole system, basically putting in 2 checks instead of 1 check, just to make sure that it's exactly perfect and no one gets billed ever the wrong amount. Really just like stuff that has to happen as you scale. It's pretty crazy. You know, you don't realize some of these things when you have 5, 6, 7, even 10 clients, but you know, once you get into those higher ranges, it really starts to become a problem where little things break or little things forget to get checked. So building these systems in place is the biggest fundamental part of what I'm doing on a regular basis. Couple hours in, gonna finally grab my first coffee of the day. We're gonna switch things up. We got a couple hours of meetings starting in about 4 minutes here. Should be a couple good team style meetings. There's like a few things that will add naturally to your time a little bit, but the goal is that over time it actually frees you up. As we go, we're going to add new clients to this stack. So if you could just add in your clients to this, if you have questions about anything, just let me know. And then I'm going to intro you to Scott and try to get you looped in with him on a few things. That's the hardest gap that we have to get over. However, we did this exact same thing in Glam Squad and it worked perfectly. No joke, like it took like 2 weeks and then it was just as good as non-brand. All right, so it is 10:35 so far today. We cruised through email to start the day. We built dashboards per pod. We revised some of our invoicing process, which I actually need to finish in the second half of today. We rebriefed the team on how to use a new API. We went through all client health and pacing, super important. And we had 2 one-on-one meetings with 2 growth directors on our team who are, managing accounts. Right now, I am going to take my pup out. So I'm just gonna go for a quick walk with the dog. Probably just do another round of deep work from like 11:15 to 1 o'clock, have some lunch, and then we have back-to-back client calls and then a kickoff call with a new client that starts at around 4:30. So pretty standard day here. Really just like a lot of deep work, like just improving processes to make all of our clients get better results with standardized practices. Probably one meeting that's going to be canceled at the end of the day, but we're halfway through. This is what we have left. So we're kind of cranking. Second half of the day, it's about 12:15 right now. We just cruised through a nice dog walk, lunch, so early lunch in this case, and really back half of the day is basically looking like wrapping up some things that we didn't complete from the morning, continuing to look through all the client health. I'll walk through a couple things on that side for you guys, just so you could see like really what I'm looking at on a day-to-day basis to understand what's going on in the ad accounts. And then really have to focus in on a major process workflow scenario. This is gonna be a long process for me. It's internal work, kind of boring stuff, but it just makes the whole agency better. And then 2 o'clock, we have back-to-back client meetings. So you get a little preview of, how we work with some of our clients, what our decks look like and stuff like that. And then back half after that 2 o'clock meeting, another nice hour or so chunk where I'm just going to get some more deep work done. But really this should be a pretty smooth day overall. Really no major hiccups here. So I'm just going to do a quick email check to start us off at the half of the day. Make sure there's no emergencies or fires of any sort. Quick Slack run through, just get right back into the work where I was, hopefully in the next 15 minutes. All right. So just made a pretty basic tracker that's going to actually help every single growth director on the team have an overview of every single client that they're managing much more closely. This is going to be massively helpful, I think, to everyone. So now I'm going to actually make a loom, brief the team in on it. I want everyone to really understand how this works, and we're going to trial it for probably 2 weeks. And then if it's good, we'll roll it out to everyone. All right. I want to show you guys a quick platform that we just added for every single client that we manage. So if you're working with the Moonlighters, we are going to pay for this for everyone. Basically what this is, it's called Varos. Varos is essentially a competitive analysis tool. So we can see a bunch of competitors. I believe it's a sample set of like 10,000 plus competitors in our specific niche, dependent on the client. And we could categorize that niche based on a variety of filters for Facebook ads, Google ads, and Shopify. This is giving us such an edge to understand and get ahead of like when the market shifts, like especially as we head into Q4. Is Q4 going to start early in certain niches compared to other categories? So if you're interested, we'll throw a link down in the description. All right, the editors are not gonna like this one because I'm going outside and the audio is terrible on this camera. So basically it's beautiful out. I'm gonna sit out on my little balcony here, wrap up a few tasks, really just cruise through some of the stuff I was already working on, and I will see y'all when I get back inside. That is a wrap on the day. All meetings done, tons of internal work today. Really like days like this are kind of weird because I kind of feel like there was nothing major that got done, but you're just working and digging along kind of to improve process, make clients happier, but not on an individual basis, right? These are all little things, dozens, hundreds of little things that we're creating and systems that we're building to basically just create the best possible client experience and also get the best possible result, which is such a hard thing to do at scale. And that's why so many agencies fail. That's what we've seen. That's what we've seen over and over. Agencies get to 5 or 10 clients and then they say,
I don't know how to actually scale this next part. And that's what we're just trying to completely avoid. Outside of hiring really good people and the team conversations that you got to listen to a little bit, it's really all just about building these nice beefy systems that are, in my opinion, mostly fail-proof so that we guarantee results for all the clients that we work with. That's our ultimate goal with everything we're doing. And these days are just slow sometimes. They're tiresome a little bit. You don't really achieve that one major thing on the day, but compound this day 5-10 times, it's just monstrous results. This video was so different than every other video that we've ever run on this channel. If you got value out of this video, seriously, let me know. I would love to make more content like this. It's like so much more chill. It's so much different to make. And I like showing you guys a little bit behind the scenes. And I will see you all in the next one.